Janae Reckard. Welcome to Love Notes for Dummies podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you. You have no idea. I have been anticipating you for a minute. So I am super excited to have you here today.
Yes, what an honor. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you again.
Mental health expert, girl. This is going to be fun. Absolutely. Now, I see that you grew up in New York.
Yes.
How was that? You know, because I look at New York as such a busy city. Even when I go there, everybody is just everywhere. Tell me about it.
It's a lot. So I actually grew up in Westchester, which is like right outside the city. But I loved it. It's like a 30-minute train ride to the city, but I loved it. I mean, I feel like where I grew up was very, very, very diverse.
Right.
I had groups of friends from different races, backgrounds, religions, cultures, and I feel like that really, really shaped how I am and how I view the world and my perspective of things. I loved it.
Amazing. Now, how did you get here in South Florida?
Well, I would come down here for vacation often, and I loved the weather. Like, speaking of mental health, seasonal affective disorder is a thing, right? And that's basically like where you're affected by the seasons and or the gloomy weather.
Right.
And so I noticed when it was like winter or, the colder months, I was just always kind of in a funky mood. But when I would come to like Florida or places with better weather, oh my gosh, my mood changed significantly. So I would always come down here for vacation. And so one day my mom and I came down for a cruise or something. And I, applied to and looked for jobs, and I got hired for one. So I said, you know what? I'm going to try it out and see. And I ended up loving it.
Yes.
And now I'm down here.
Miami is beautiful. I will tell anybody that the weather is amazing. And that's, you sound like my husband. My husband said the same thing. My husband grew up, born and raised in New York. And once he came down here, it was like he never wanted to go back to New York.
I could not see myself living in
My
New York.
husband said
And
the
just
same
like
thing.
the space and being able to drive your car and not take the train and be around so many people. Like I mean, I go. There's no place like New York. I always go back to visit.
Yes.
But as far as living, I think the quality of life is so much better down here.
And that's exactly what my husband said. He says the same thing. It's no place like New York, but as far as living there, he can't do it. He can't go back. Absolutely not.
Right.
So I see that you're single, but you're in a relationship.
I am in a relationship.
You're
so I'm
smiling.
Single.
And you seem super happy.
He makes me happy. He's great.
I love that. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I also see that you have a Maltese.
Oh my gosh, my baby. That is my baby.
Listen, I have a Maltese. I have a Maltese.
Girl. You know what? When I was filling it out, I was just gonna put like fur baby or whatever I put. I wasn't gonna specify the breed, but I'm like, just in case she knows about the. Oh my God.
Listen, aren't those things like little humans?
Oh my God, yes.
They are the
smartest. You gotta brush their teeth in every single way. They're so smart.
They are so. I literally, when I'm talking to my Maltese, I will tell him something, and it's like I'm talking to a person.
Yes.
He understands exactly what I am saying, and when I tell you that is my baby,
Your heart. How old is he?
He's only 2.
Oh my
He's 2 years old.
Everything. He's everything.
Oh my God. And then not only that, not to mention now, I have a Yorkie and I have a Chihuahua.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Yes, I have a Yorkie and a Chihuahua. And I just got my Maltese a year ago, like a year ago. But when I tell you, I am just so in love with that little thing.
Yes. Yes. And he gets along good with the other
Everybody.
two.
He's hyper. He's energetic. He just has personality. It's
so
the personality.
And they're so rambunctious.
Oh,
right? Yes.
Oh my God, so rambunctious. And then they look at you with those little eyes, and it's just like, oh Lord.
I know.
Listen, I feel you on that, because baby, my Maltese, I just love that little thing. Oh my God. But I love my Fendi and I love my Chihuahua as well. It's just that the Maltese just have such a big personality.
It's different.
Right, it's different.
What is your Maltese's name?
My Gucci.
Gucci. Oh, I love it.
And he just, I don't know why. And I tried giving him different names before settling with Gucci. But do you know he would not respond to any other name but Gucci?
No, it was meant to be, girl.
I tried to give him like 2 other names. I was calling him different names to see what he would respond to.
Right.
Oh, he would not respond to. Only thing he responded to was Gucci. I said, okay, Gucci is it.
Yes.
So I understand. Trust me.
Good. Okay.
Now, so tell me, what are some things that you like to do when you're not, in your mental health expert space?
Yes.
What are you doing for yourself?
Well, girl, I love to travel. So I just got back from a trip earlier this week. I love to travel and explore new places. Of course, I love to be with my baby, my dog.
Yes.
Right? I love to spend good quality time with family and friends and my partner. And what I really love is kind of just like downtime because, you know, I'm in sessions all week throughout the day.
Wow.
And it's a lot of information. It's a lot of conversation. So I really just enjoy and appreciate my downtime where I can be still and present and reconnect with nature, go to the beach. Another reason why I love being in Florida because the beach is right there. Go to the beach and just really reflect and be mindful. I love the spa. I love to do yoga and just like move my body.
Yes.
And just really like get rest.
I like you because me and you like the same things.
I love
oh my
it.
God.
I love it.
I love my working out.
Yes.
I'm going to do my working out. I can't. That's just like a moment for me.
And it's so good for mental health too.
My God.
Yes.
That 1 hour session or 2 hour session, it is all about me and just, you know, taking that moment to just focus in on me. So my working out, not to mention the beach. My husband will tell you, I would get up, I'd be like, okay, you going to the beach with me? Okay, I'm going to the beach.
Yes.
I take all my stuff, whatever I got to do, and I just sit on that beach, and it's so relaxing.
Peaceful, especially if you watch the sunrise or the sunset. It's so peaceful.
It's so peaceful.
It's so peaceful.
That is like the number one thing as far as me, you know. Not only that, I love restaurants. I am always at a restaurant.
Yes.
I love to eat.
Are you like a big foodie?
I'm a real big foodie.
Okay,
I will admit that. Even my friends will tell you, if they want to know about restaurants, call Natalie.
Oh,
call
good.
Natalie.
Okay, I might call you then
I'm
about
that
some
girl.
restaurants.
Yes.
Good to know.
I am that girl.
Good.
So let me ask you, what inspired you to do what you do today? What inspired you to do that?
Good question. So you know how I was saying I grew up in New York and around a bunch of different diverse people and cultures. So I had friends of all different races and stuff, and we were all friends, but we were all so different. So like sometimes when I would go to their houses, I would just notice how different their family dynamics were, or just how differently they were raised. And even in my family, like I'm from the same family as some people, and we're all so different. And so it really just sparked my curiosity of like, what makes people so different? How can people come from like the same family and have such different outcomes or be so different? How can, you know, I have such similarities with the person and they be from a completely different lifestyle? And it really just made me so curious to learn about humans and human behaviors and why people are the way they are. There's always more than what meets the eye. There's always more, you know, than what's on the surface. And I've just always really been a curious person. So that's how I got into it.
I totally understand you and feel you on that because by me being having a minor in psychology, I am so good at reading people, reading energy, reading, you know, when people behave a certain way, I'm able to pick you out just immediately, put it like
100%.
that. It's just, right. It's 100%. Just what I do. And people always be like, how did you know that? Because I can't even explain it. Right. It's just what God gifted me with.
It's
honestly.
Literally a gift.
It's
innate.
a gift.
It's innate. Like I always tell people, I don't know what else I would do if I didn't do this. Even if I had all the money in the world and never had to like work again, I would still do this because it's just a gift. And just to like be there for people and help people. And you know, you never want anyone to feel alone. Right. And so, you know, people always come up to me outside and just have like random conversations with me. And sometimes if you're easy to talk to, it's just innate.
Yes.
You know, it's a gift. You can't help it. You can't not.
I totally agree with you.
So,
totally. So what brings you joy currently, professionally and personally? What are some things that bring Janae joy?
So professionally, what brings me joy really is seeing my clients in their healing phase, right? Because a lot of times when clients initially come to you, they are maybe not feeling the greatest. Maybe it's after a really difficult breakup or a traumatic experience. So maybe they're like broken or have hit rock bottom. And then through therapy and, you know, really working on themselves and healing, seeing them healed or in their healing phase or like loving on themselves again and feeling good about themselves, it is so rewarding. And then just seeing like I have a client, to make a long story short, she was in corporate and doing really well financially, but she really hated being in corporate. And so through our work together in therapy, she was like, you know what, I actually really love therapy. I want to be a therapist. Long story short, she went back to school to become a therapist. She just graduated this year with her master's in therapy.
Wow.
And she spoke at her commencement speech and she talked about the way her own therapy experience significantly impacted her life to want to become a therapist. And so it's incredible. And it's situations like that that are so rewarding.
Yes.
And just being part of someone's healing process, that's one of the things that bring me joy professionally.
And it's really a beautiful thing when you see someone come to you so broken.
Yes.
And then at the end, you see them so healed. You understand? Isn't that beautiful?
It's incredible.
Incredible.
It's incredible.
Yes.
And it's an honor to be along the journey of, some of my clients. So.
I could not agree with you more. Okay, so how does our mental health impact the way we show up in relationships and dating? I always say that it is impossible for you to have a successful relationship when your mental is not in a good space. You understand?
Oh, 100%. Because I do couples therapy too, as well as individual therapy. And I always say to my couples, like, in order for a couple or a relationship to be as healthy as possible, the two individuals in the relationship have to be healthy individuals, or at least working on themselves.
Absolutely.
And working to be healthy individuals. And so to answer your question, how does our mental health affect, dating and relationships? It affects every aspect.
Everything.
Every aspect of dating and relationships, as from how we communicate to how we view ourselves in the relationship, what type of future we want, our insecure. A relationship is like a mirror to yourself. So you're going to see parts of yourselves that you don't necessarily like, that you're not aware of. We're going to experience so many triggers, our past, our lens of the world, the things we have experienced. It all comes out in a relationship. So
absolutely.
Every, our relationship is and just how we show up in the day-to-day is all affected by our mental health.
Absolutely. And the thing is that, because I see so much of it, people that are so unhealed, okay? People who are not healed, all right? But yet and still you're trying to have relationships and you're trying to enter relationships. And then you get into relationships and then you realize that it's chaos, it's confusion, it's drama, it's drama filled, it's no happiness there, okay? Because again, you're trying to put a Band-Aid over issues that need to be addressed and dealt with. You understand?
100%. But you know what's so funny that you say that? So many people, like you and I, for example, can see someone who's unhealed in a relationship and it's chaotic and crazy, but they may not be aware of it. Right? Some people are not aware that they're unhealed and they keep getting into these relationships where it's chaotic and there's drama, and some people thrive off of that trauma. They enjoy that. They maybe consciously or unconsciously seek that out, and they don't realize they're unhealed and recreating these patterns until they do, and then the healing comes into place.
So let me ask you, why do so many people struggle with self-worth when it comes to love, and how do they begin to heal? Because I see so much of that. I see so many women especially that struggles with self-love. Okay? And I just want to know, what do they do to begin to heal?
There are a myriad of reasons why people, especially women, can struggle with self-worth and self-love. One of the reasons could be past trauma. So sometimes trauma affects us emotionally and our belief system and just psychologically, and sometimes that results in low self-esteem and low self-worth and feeling shame about ourselves. And for example, so if we are experiencing emotional neglect growing up, that might, as adults, make us feel unlovable or unworthy unless we are being, what social media calls like a pick-me, or people-pleasing, or, for example, always, if you're in school, like always getting good grades, that can make someone feel more worthy or lovable, when the reality is you're worthy just because you exist, just because of who you are.
Absolutely.
You deserve love just because you exist, just because of who you are. But sometimes growing up, because of different things people experience, people feel like they have to work or hustle to be and feel worthy and or to be lovable. And so to heal that part and to really develop self-love, I mean, again, there's so many different routes and things you can do.
Yeah.
But really, it's just about looking inside and like discovering, and this is where therapy can really come into play, discovering like what makes you worthy and lovable, and discovering what you love.
Yes.
First of all, just discovering yourself.
Yourself,
and
absolutely.
Who you are,
yeah.
without someone else telling you who you are.
Absolutely.
And really, and you know, spirituality and establishing a relationship with God
Absolutely.
can really help that.
Absolutely.
But not necessarily discovering, but understanding what makes you worthy and lovable as you are, without giving someone else the power to like
to
determine
dictate
that
who
for you.
exactly. Just you know, taking a moment, looking at yourself in the mirror, and just really paying attention to what is lovable about you.
And I love that you said that, because that's actually an activity that I do with some of my clients. I literally have them hold.
I do too.
No way! I love it.
Yes.
I literally have them hold up a client, and I used to do like group therapy too. And we would, so I do it in individual sessions now, but we used to do it in group therapy. They would hold up a mirror, and I would go through a myriad of questions to ask, and it was so powerful and transformative.
Powerful.
Yes.
You know, because believe it or not, people don't take the time to do that. You understand? They literally sit and allow people to dictate how lovable they are.
Yes.
When all you need to do is stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and identify parts of you that is lovable and embrace it.
Right.
You
and
understand?
look beyond the surface. And also you have to like, your voice, your internal voice and your self-talk, it has to be louder than that of those who maybe like brought you down in the past or whatever seeds were planted when you were growing up. Like you have to make your voice louder than those other voices in your head.
That is so true. Janae, you're awesome, girl.
Thank you.
Love
So are
it.
you.
You're awesome. Now this takes me here. Can unresolved childhood trauma affect adult relationships? Now, absolutely. Me, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. And if so, what are some steps towards healing? Because childhood trauma can be devastating, okay? And the impacts of that when they become adults can also be devastating.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
So yes, to answer your question, unresolved childhood trauma can and will absolutely affect adult relationships if it's not addressed. So for example, if someone grew up in an abusive household and they seen abuse, whether it was physical abuse or verbal abuse, as normal behavior, or they seen the behavior and they normalize it, they most likely will, you know, seek out partners or relationship patterns that mimic what was normalized for them growing up. And that's a way that unresolved childhood trauma can affect our adult relationships. And one of the ways that people can, you know, work on addressing that or healing that is, first of all, nothing can change or heal or get better without awareness.
Absolutely.
So people have to first be aware, okay, something is wrong. This is not normal. This is not healthy. Maybe, you know, I grew up this way, but like this is a problem. This is not okay. I don't feel good. This is making me feel horrible. Like this is not good. And so once they have that awareness, then it's about taking the steps, whether it's therapy or, you know, leaving that relationship or talking with helpful friends or, you know, a mentor or a you know, spiritual help like a pastor or something to you know, guide them in the right direction.
Yeah, and then you know what the thing about that is that, believe it or not, so many people that have experienced childhood trauma, you know, they grow up thinking that this is the way it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
You will be amazed, okay? Yes. Listen, I know, I look at some comments and I'm just like, wow.
Yes.
And that's the sad part about it, is because they grow up believing that this behavior or what was, you know, in front of them growing up, they really believe that this is the way. You understand?
They normalize it.
They
It can be
normalize
so
it.
unhealthy, and they normalize it.
Yes.
If you had a parent, for example, who talks badly to you or curses you out or is verbally abusive, obviously we know that's not normal.
Right.
You just take it, and as an adult, you think that's normal.
And you do the same thing to your
You
child.
do the same thing to your child, and you get in a relationship where a partner talks to you like that, and no red flags go off because you're like, oh, this is normal.
And then they want to literally justify the behavior.
Yes, yes.
And you clearly looking at this, and I'm clearly reading like, oh my my God, she really think that is normal.
Right.
So what do you do? How do you help them to understand this is not normal, okay?
And I love that you asked that question because, and especially one thing about therapy, and I always encourage therapists to, like, you can only help someone who's willing to help themselves. Right? So if someone is not, and this
golden.
is where awareness comes into play, because they may not be aware, but child, if they're not trying to be aware, you're not going to make them, they have to be ready to help. In therapy, there's different stages of change, pre-contemplative, contemplative action, or preparation, action, and then maybe relapse. That's not always part of the stages of change. But the pre-contemplative stage of change is basically like denial.
Yes.
Right? So when someone's in that stage of change, they're not ready to make the change. They don't even think that there's an issue.
Absolutely.
You can't necessarily help someone who's not ready.
And you can't. I see it every day. You really can't. They will point the finger. They're going to justify. They're going to make excuses for it. And you clearly giving them concrete knowledge that is designed to help them. You understand? But they don't see that because for whatever reason they have locked in their mindset, or whomever they associate or around on a day-to-day basis have made them think that this behavior is okay.
Right.
It's normal.
Right.
And when you try to make them see things differently, they look at you as the villain.
Right.
They look at you as though you're the crazy one.
100%.
And that is the most...
It's mind-blowing.
It's mind-blowing.
Sometimes, right? But that's what trauma does. It literally shapes and conditions our beliefs. So we see the world from a certain point of view, even if that's extremely unhealthy. So if you grew up and super unhealthy behaviors were normalized, but that's totally, normal to you, when someone tells you that's not healthy, this is actually what's healthy.
Right.
If the unhealthy behavior is all you know, you're going to think that person's crazy.
Yes, absolutely. I see it every day.
Right.
Like, really. So what steps should these people take, or this person should take to try to heal themselves?
Well, once they decide that they want to get the help, and maybe once they're like, you know what, maybe something is a little off, or maybe this isn't unhealthy, maybe they can seek out a therapist or therapy or some sort of assistance or help, so they can actually be, told concretely and objectively, and really just help to see healthy relationship behaviors and patterns versus unhealthy relationship behaviors and patterns, and not anything where it's subjective, but like just super objective and direct and clear. Right. And I say maybe seek out therapy, because sometimes you can go to your friends, but if they have our mentality, they just may reinforce the unhealthy or toxic behaviors, right?
So no.
And social media sometimes, reinforces that toxicity too. So this is why I say like a therapist or someone who is maybe unbiased or like qualified to really help you see, and not even try to change your mind or make you leave a certain relationship or anything, but just really to help you see what is healthy versus what is unhealthy, what is maybe like a trauma response versus like what is a healthy response.
Absolutely. Right? And because like I say, I see it all the time. I mean, I could put a post up, identifying why this is not healthy, et cetera, and you will always have people in the comments justifying why what I'm saying is wrong. You understand? And I'm just like, okay. And and when you said that really just clicked for me. When you said a person can only be helped when they want help. And that takes me back to a young lady who actually reached out to me, and she was saying that when she first started following me, she had to unfollow me because she was not ready to hear the information that I was providing. Okay. She returned back to me. Okay. She said she returned back to me after 6 months. Okay. Because she realized the reason she was not ready for my content is because she was not healed. Okay. That was so amazing to me. And she said to me, I am so excited now, because when I hear you, I'm excited because I'm healed now. You understand? Do you see how profound and deep that is?
That's amazing.
Amazing. You understand? she couldn't take me because
it probably
she was
triggered
not
her. She was not ready. You were probably saying things that were spot on, and she was probably triggered. And sometimes when people are triggered, they take it personally, and then they come to your comments. Oh, you're wrong, and they lash out and say mean things.
Oh yeah.
But no, it's because they're not ready.
They're not
ready.
Till they're ready.
And then I can imagine when she was ready and she came back, she probably came back with such an open mind and ready to take in the information.
Yes.
Did she talk about what like happened in that transition from her being unready to ready?
She didn't, because it was really like a comment that she left under one of my posts, so she didn't really get in depth. But I would just remember that comment so clearly, because she really just explained, I wasn't ready for you.
Right.
I had to unfollow you because I was not ready to hear what you were providing. You understand?
And that's the thing. Like, I have so many people who reach out to me for therapy, and we have consultations. And sometimes during the consultation, I may ask them, okay, so why now? Like, you're bringing this up, you want to seek therapy, why now? And a lot of them will say, well, I really wanted to do it like years ago or a few months ago, but I wasn't ready.
Yep. See?
And so I'm reaching out to you now when I'm ready.
Yep.
Right? And so that's the thing. You can't, someone can come to therapy and you can give them all the most amazing tools in the world, but if they're not ready, they're not going to apply it.
Exactly. They're not going to apply it. And then just like you say, I see it every day. I'll provide some knowledge. And when I tell you the number of people that are triggered by concrete knowledge, by just knowledge that mothers teach their daughters, you understand? And this is the thing that's really baffling, because this is just stuff that your mom would teach you, your grandmothers, this is not something that just came out of the clear.
Right.
I'm not making this up.
It's not just your opinion.
Right.
Like, it's facts.
It's facts. Okay, it's real life facts. And you see so many people be triggered by facts. You understand?
100%.
But I just
100%.
My response is, you're going to be triggered because you're going to get this knowledge over here.
Right. Yes. 100%. So many people sometimes aren't ready because they're scared or they're fearful, but it's really just about like assessing someone's readiness before you can see how receptive they are to like changing.
To change it. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. That was good. Yeah. So let's talk about boundaries. All right. Boundaries is super important. And boundaries is super important for every aspect of your life, not just relationships, but every aspect of your life.
100%.
I'm a firm believer of boundaries.
Yes.
Nevertheless, how can someone establish healthy boundaries without feeling guilty or losing the connection? What are your thoughts about that?
Good question. And so how can someone establish healthy boundaries without feeling guilty or losing the connection? So to address the second part, without losing the connection, something that I love to tell my clients is, when you're setting boundaries, something that you can say to the person you're setting a boundary with is, I'm setting this boundary, or I'm sharing this with you because I want to keep the relationship intact. I want to make it work. I'm not setting this boundary to create distance between us or to push you apart. I'm doing this because I want to make it work. Boundaries are basically our own personal limits of what we feel comfortable with, that, just aid in self-preservation and or teach people how to treat us. I like to tell clients boundaries are like basically our laws, and it helps govern how we interact with people.
Absolutely.
And, what's okay for us. And yeah.
I love that. I love that. And the thing about boundaries, people get, how can I explain it? For some reason, people think that boundaries are not important. Okay, I've read it many times just in comments and things like that. Like, for example, you're in a relationship or you're starting a relationship. Like I tell people all the time, you have to ask questions to get to know a person. Okay, absolutely. Once a person how do you be in a relationship if you're not getting to know you questions?
Exactly.
How does that happen? You understand?
It blows my mind. I don't
know.
Too. And this is why, a few months or years later on down the line, you realize, oh my goodness, I don't know who I'm with, because you didn't know this person from the beginning.
But
you were just maybe infatuated with their looks or something. You have to ask.
But you have to ask questions. You understand? Because first of all, you're trying to figure out if you're in alignment with this person.
100%.
All right? If someone does something to you and you don't like it, it's okay to say, you know what? I didn't like that.
Right.
That made me feel uncomfortable, okay?
You have to.
Don't do that, because again, if you do that again, I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work out because I don't like that. You understand?
Right.
Why are you calling me at 12 o'clock at night when you had all day long?
Exactly.
What were you doing all day long that you're calling me at 12 o'clock at night? Do me a favor. Don't call me at 12 o'clock at night. I'm sleeping.
I'm going to sleep.
You understand?
Right.
And especially in the beginning of a relationship. You understand?
Oh, yes.
So this is what I try to tell women. It's okay to set boundaries. Why are you calling me and talking to me for a month and you still have not asked me out on a date?
Right, exactly.
What are you doing?
Like, I would like us to go out on a date.
Right.
And if you're unable to do that, that's okay. But we just don't have to interact.
Exactly.
Anymore,
We just cannot.
Right? Because whatever, when you don't set boundaries, it's a free-for-all.
It's a free-for-all.
And people are going to treat you however they want to treat you.
Yes.
And what you don't address or, whatever boundaries you don't establish in the beginning, then they're never going to be set. And it's really hard, like, I don't know, 3 months in, for example, to try to set boundaries on something that you had let slide the whole time.
Absolutely. This is what I try to tell women. That starts on day one. You understand? Not day 30, not day 60, not day 90. It starts on day one.
And that's why it's so important to know what your boundaries are, know what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. And sometimes people think boundaries have to be so concrete.
No.
Certain times, certain topics, maybe they do, but boundaries can be a little bit more flexible. Sometimes they have to be rigid, but not all the time, right? And it can change depending on the circumstance. But if you don't have boundaries, people are going to treat you how you're going to feel burnt out
all the time. You're confused, feeling like you're in some type of chaos. Because when you don't have boundaries, it just seems like nothing is really in order. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. And a lot of times what I notice, people are, hesitant or afraid to set boundaries because they don't want the other person to get upset. Yeah. But I always say, a person who gets upset at you when you set boundaries is someone who benefits from you not having boundaries.
Oh my God! Janae!
Right? Because think about it, if you're a step,
I don't
like that, that's uncomfortable for me. If someone's going to get upset at you for saying what's uncomfortable for you, they benefit from you not having
boundaries. And when you set boundaries, like I tell my women all the time, when you set boundaries and someone gets upset with you, that's because they're not in your life for the right reasons.
Yes.
It's just that simple.
Exactly.
Just like I tell my ladies, if you ask a guy questions, and he says to you, Janae, what's all the questions for? Why are you asking me questions? He doesn't like you.
Girl, because the man who is for you is not going to get upset. Especially when you're trying to get to know them. Now, if you ask in their social security number, girl, that's a little different. But if you're asking regular questions, what was your past relationship like? How'd you grow up? Maybe what traumas you have. Substantial questions. And they get upset.
They're not in your life for the right reasons.
Right.
And this is what I try to tell women. I remember I did a post some time ago, and I was telling my ladies about starter questions you should ask in the beginning, right?
I love questions.
Okay, I love questions. Okay, because it's going to tell me everything about what you are here for. You understand what I'm saying? What your intentions, everything, right? So I asked, one of the questions was to ask a guy, so tell me, why should I give you my energy? What is it that, what makes you so special? Why should I give you my energy? What makes you so special?
Yeah.
Is that a harmful question?
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
A man who likes you would embrace that and be like, hey, I like you because A, B, C, D. I want to be in your life because this, that, and the other, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay?
Right.
Oh, my God. Girl, if you could have saw the comments, ooh, I wouldn't ask nobody number 4. Ooh, I would leave. He would leave me. I asked number 4. He left you because he didn't want you from Jump Street. All right?
Because he could easily answer that question. And then he could say, you know what, here's why, and now I'm going to show you.
Absolutely. Right. And a man who is really serious about being in your life, they want you to ask questions.
Yes, they want to show you're interested. Yes. They want to know, and they want to respect your boundaries.
Yes, and they want to, respond to you so that you could see, I'm serious about you. I really like you.
100%. They don't mind putting in the effort or like meeting you where you're at in order to be with you if they really want to be with you.
No, absolutely. Right. And this is why I say, because I've been doing what I do for so long, what I have really realized in this process is that women do not know how to date. They don't know how to date. they don't have a clue about dating. They don't really know how to interact with men.
Right.
They don't really know how to talk to men.
Right.
They don't really know what to say to men.
Right.
It's just like they don't know how to develop relationships.
Yeah.
They don't know how to really, structure a relationship where it's healthy, and they don't know when to cut it off, and they don't know when not to entertain, and or what not. Oh my God!
Because they don't have boundaries.
They don't have boundaries.
Right.
They don't have, and as a result, what I have watched and witnessed, because there's no boundaries, don't know how to really conversate. Men do not take the women serious today.
Right.
They really don't. They don't want to marry them. They don't want to take them out to dinner. They don't want. They don't want to take them on dates.
Yeah.
They don't want to do anything with them because they do not know how to really interact with men.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Once you understand men and understand what men want and how men think, you will really see your relationships flourish, okay? And because you set boundaries and ask questions does not run men away.
Right, exactly. Not the right man.
Not the right
Not the
man,
man
at
who's
least.
for you.
Absolutely.
Right. And once you also start carrying yourself like you have some self-worth and like you have some self-love and you're not
some self-respect.
Exactly. Exactly.
You will see a difference in, the way men interact and treat you. But when you're walking around here thinking that, I could dress and look the way I want to look and, talk the way I want to talk and behave in the way I want to behave, and then think a man is going to come into your life and treat you like a queen when you're literally acting like a whole thought. It's not going to happen.
Right.
I'm just being realistic.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
No, absolutely.
And, women get upset with me when I give them that truth, but...
No, but even men will say this too.
Men say this.
Men will say this too.
Thank you. It's not like I'm saying something.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But some people, again, girl, back to like readiness. Some people aren't ready to hear that, or they don't want to hear that, or they don't want to change. But men will say the same thing too.
The same exact thing. It's just like, for some reason, they think that I'm just pulling information out of the sky and just talking.
Right.
Listen, sweetheart, if I'm telling you, I'm telling you the truth, okay?
100%.
100%. So anyway, Janae, that's a whole lesson, honey.
Yes. And social media, by the way, I feel like a lot of times people don't know how to communicate or make these connections or know what to understand, because social media has people's minds warped.
It has these people so messed up. When I tell you, when I tell you something that has come into the world and has really destroyed relationships, communication, and then they're looking at so many of these people that are on social media, giving them all the wrong information. I'm talking about all wrong information. You hear me? And they literally be sitting up there talking about, oh yeah. And I'm looking like, and you really, really believe that. But that also shows me that they don't have any mentors in their life. You understand?
Yes.
See, when I see people cheering on, and I call it garbage information, it's because they do not have the proper mentors in their life. So remember, when people don't have those types of figures in their life, they're just trying to look at anybody who they think going to give them some information. And a lot of these people, whether you like it or not, okay, what these people don't understand, a lot of these people are on social media just for performance, okay?
Yes, it's
for attention. It's strictly putting on a show. For clout, for attention, for followers, for views. It's all just for all the wrong reasons. And they're not able to differentiate good information from negative information. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
And that's the part that's the part that is just so alarming. You understand? Because it's just like, what are you saying?
It's disheartening.
It's so disheartening.
It really is.
And you see these people following them, and it's just like, oh my God, this is all wrong.
It's all wrong. And sometimes it's so toxic.
It's so toxic. Oh, Lord, yes. So toxic. But, all I can say, hopefully one day they see the light. But
I know, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I'm serious. That's all you can say. Now, and also, this will take me back to, although we're talking about that, but this is another question that I feel is super, super important, because you have so many people that fall into this category. And it's, why do people repeat toxic relationship cycles? And how can they break free from that? You have so many people, they're always screaming, oh, he was toxic, oh, that's toxic, this toxic. But you're constantly in toxic relationships over and over and over again. Now, I'm going to say that has nothing to do with him. That's all you.
If you're the common denominator, if all of your relationships, you're experiencing the same thing and the same types of toxicity, you have to, it has to get to a point where you look at yourself, okay, how might I be contributing to this situation? And that's when change comes in. But sometimes people are unconsciously creating or, finding themselves in these same toxic behaviors because of, again, past trauma. One of the effects of past trauma is like repeating unhealthy behavioral patterns, right? And again, kind of how we were talking about earlier, if you grew up experiencing a certain thing, even if it's toxic or unhealthy, it becomes normalized. And so you subconsciously seek that out without even realizing you're doing it. You get into relationships with people who are similar to those who created that trauma for you without even realizing you're doing it. And until you can, have some awareness and say, okay, I'm finding myself in the same situation with different people. Everything is the same, and the behaviors and everything is the same except the person. I have to be the common denominator.
Absolutely.
What am I doing? What can I do to change, or what help do I need to refrain from continuing to experience this?
Yep, exactly. Because like I said, I feel that when you find yourself, it's a pattern. Like every relationship is toxic. So it comes to a point where you have to stop and look at yourself in the mirror and say, question yourself, why every relationship is toxic? What is it about me?
This is where accountability.
Absolutely. You understand?
Maybe I am the problem.
Yes.
Maybe if I'm experiencing this with, Joe, ABC, Tom, Dick, and Harry, maybe I am the problem.
Yeah, and I always say, and I'm a firm believer of this, people treat you how they see you, okay? Whether you want to accept that or not, okay? When people identify, and I always tell my ladies this, when people look at you, all right, they're able to say to themselves, especially a man, okay, no, I can't come to her like this. I have to come correct. I'm trying to tell you. No, I'm not going to play with this one right here because I can see I got to have it together, okay? Or, oh yeah, I could get away with anything with her. Okay, look at her. She's her self-esteem so low. Okay, you can see she ain't got no self-worth. You can see she desperate. You can see she just thirsty. I could do anything with this. Now, due to the fact I'm not really ready for a relationship right now, I'm going to play with this for a few minutes. Okay, I'm going to toy with her until I get myself together. Now, once I get myself together, I'm going back over here to Jane.
To who I really want.
And to who I really want, because I got to come to her correct. So I'm not going to even touch her right now. But I'm going to stay in contact with her every now and again, see how she doing, because my plan is to circle back to her, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and play with this low self-esteem one right now. People treat you exactly how they see you.
100%. And then when you don't set those boundaries and you allow him to play with you or you entertain it, you are teaching him how to treat you. Exactly. You're saying, you're giving the green light. Okay, that's okay. You can come back whenever you want. You can play with me because I'm going to continue to entertain you and give you access to me. Even though you're not treating me how I want to be treated.
That's right.
Why would he stop?
Exactly. There's no repercussions. Like I said, he can do whatever he wants.
Why would he stop?
Exactly. And like I tell women all the time, and for some reason they don't want to believe that either, men are very smart.
They are.
Men know exactly what they're doing. Okay?
They do.
They know how to look at a woman, and in 1.5 seconds, they're able to say, oh yeah.
A predator knows how to pick. I'm not saying all men are predators.
Of course not.
But a predator knows how to pick its prey.
Absolutely. They know. It's just like when you meet a quality man. A quality man do not want a woman who has no self-worth, no self-esteem, who's operating in low vibration. You understand?
Right.
A quality man wants a quality woman 100%. Who is operating with class and purpose. You understand? 100%. It's just what it is. You understand?
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
you know, I tell women that all the time. But, of course, you know, like I say, you have those that want to believe what they want to believe.
100. And you can tell a lot about, you know, how a woman feels about herself by what she allows and what she entertains. Because if someone's going to come at you crazy and you entertain, we can't always help the type of people who try to come at us.
Of course.
You can help what you entertain.
I totally agree.
If it's in the beginning and he's already maybe violating your boundaries or being super inconsistent or, you know, not taking you on dates like you said or doing things that you don't like and you're still entertaining it.
What do you expect?
Exactly.
If you're accepting breadcrumbs, you're going to get a crumb. That's 100%. Just how it is. You understand? If he knows that he could get away without doing anything for you, okay, but you're still in the bed with him, that's what he's going to do. You understand? It's just what it is. When you don't have any self-respect, you can't expect people to have respect for you.
Yes.
It's just what it is.
People are not going to give you what they see you're not giving yourself.
You understand? And like I tell women, men know exactly what they're doing. When they come into your life and they see that you're not operating at the highest level and they know that you are someone that they can get over with and they're in a position in their life where they're not really at their best, they go seek out those types of women.
Right, exactly.
They really do.
Exactly.
They go seek out women who are operating at low vibration, okay, who look low vibration, who behave low vibration. They literally go seek out those types of women because they know they don't have to do anything.
They don't have to put in effort. They don't have to do much.
Okay? And especially if they're working on themselves, they're going to work on themselves because they know they got low vibration mama right there. So they know they got something that they could, you know, play with in the meantime. But as soon as they get themselves together, and they're operating in their high value, they're going to find them a high value woman. All right?
Exactly.
That's just
who's
how it
not
goes.
Going to allow the little low vibrational stuff.
Absolutely. Because he knows with that woman, he's going to have to come up and show up as the man that she needs him to be.
Available, put in effort, be consistent, respect the boundaries, everything.
That's right. Everything. So, so let me ask you, what role does therapy play in helping someone prepare for a healthy, meaningful relationship? I've always, you know, felt that, you know, I'm a very big, firm believer. Therapy is very important, okay?
100%.
You know, unfortunately, so many people, especially I would say in the Black community, do not understand the importance of therapy.
Right.
Therapy is super, super important for so many. You understand?
So many.
But for some reason, they seem to, you know, neglected or just don't, you know,
they don't understand.
They don't understand the importance of it. So let me ask you, what is the importance of, you know, therapy, you know, and just, you know, helping someone prepare for a healthy, meaningful relationship?
I feel like when it comes to helping someone prepare for a healthy and meaningful relationship, therapy can play so many roles, because therapy isn't, I feel like sometimes people think therapy is only if you have like huge problems like depression or you're suicidal. Therapy can help with so many things, and one of the things it can help with, especially in preparation for a relationship, is helping you to see yourself. Remember earlier we talked about two, you know, in order for a relationship to be healthy, there has to be two healthy individuals. And therapy can just overall help you get healthy. So it can help you, a lot of times we're not aware of ourselves, it can help you understand how you communicate and how to effectively and healthily communicate. Therapy can help you to understand how to resolve conflict in a healthy way, which doesn't look like arguing, for example, or fighting. It could look like, you know, being vulnerable and talking it out. Therapy can help you understand maybe what your triggers are, and if, you know, your partner is taking a really long time to text you back, and that's, you know, triggers you and you go into an overthinking spiral and you don't know how to deal with that, therapy can help you to deal with that. Therapy can help just increase your awareness of past trauma. You could be affected by a past trauma and not realize it until you get into a relationship. Therapy can help you learn how to, you know, mitigate and regulate those emotions and behaviors. Therapy can help you understand what a healthy relationship is versus an unhealthy relationship is. Like, you know, red flags, green flags. yellow flags. Therapy can help you identify and set and establish boundaries.
Yes.
I mean, therapy can help you understand what you even want in a relationship.
Yes.
Right? Like what you want for yourself and why. Is it because you actually want it? Is it because you're trying to keep up with your friends? Is it because what society says, what your parents want? Right? Like therapy can help in so many ways someone prepare for a healthy relationship, just so it can have, it can be as healthy as possible and have the best outcome as possible.
Yes,
right?
and in this day and time, I think that many people really need to seek out therapy.
100%.
Because like I said, I just think that social media has really confused people in a lot of important areas of their lives. You understand?
100%.
I think that a lot of misleading information is being, put out there, and when people don't know any better, they're biting down on information that is really designed to harm them than help them. So I just really, really think that more people really need to consider therapy, especially those that have come from very traumatized backgrounds. You understand what I'm trying to say? Or very toxic relationships and things like that. I just feel that in order for you to be your best self, and in order for you to be able to really establish a healthy, meaningful relationship, there are parts of you that needs to be healed.
100%.
Because
100%.
if not, how in the world can you give someone your best self?
100%, because relationships are going to trigger you.
Absolutely.
It's going to bring up, anxiety. You're going to deal with things with your partner. You have to be able to learn to work. If you want your relationship to last and you want to be happy in it, you have to learn to deal with those things. And therapy can definitely help. And I always tell people, therapy isn't just, again, like if you have significant issues or really bad trauma, it can just help you to better understand yourself and know who you are and know how to, navigate things with your partner. And there's a, stigma and sometimes misconception. Therapy makes you weak. Therapy requires courage. It's the opposite.
Yes.
Because in therapy, you really just practice vulnerability and you meet yourself where you're at, and to really look at yourself and say, okay, what do I need to change? How can I better myself? What deep, dark emotions do I want to, uncover and work on? That requires courage.
Absolutely.
That's not weakness.
Absolutely.
It's weak to pretend, you don't have anything to work on.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Amazing. Now, if you could give one piece of mental advice to every single person that is watching and searching for love, what would it be?
If I can give one piece of mental advice to every person who is watching or listening and searching for love, I feel like what I'm going to say is so cliche, but it really is. My piece of advice would really be to work on loving and liking yourself first.
Oh, yes.
Truly, because, you can only meet someone as deeply as you have met yourself. And so if you don't really know yourself, or you don't really like yourself or love yourself, you're going to be limited in what you can give to your partner, right? So the depth that you have with yourself, that's going to be the depth in which you can meet your partner. So I would really just encourage people to just pour into themselves and really get to know and love and like themselves first before getting into a relationship. And I'm not saying you have to be fully healed. Are we ever fully healed?
No,
healing is indefinite. We're
every day healing something.
Right.
Absolutely.
So you don't have to fully love or fully know yourself. We're always changing. You're always going to be learning yourself. But really have some sort of self identity established first before getting into a relationship, right? So that would, in a nutshell, that would be my advice. Really love and like and try to understand yourself first before seeking out love.
I absolutely love that. Janae Reckard!
Yes!
You have been amazing.
Thank you so much,
I
Natalie.
am so excited about this episode.
Good.
Because
I'm glad.
it is so needed.
Yes.
And I just think that so many women are going to be able to identify with the information that we just discussed.
Oh, good.
And it's going to help so many women. That's
what
exactly what it's all about.
Right. And yes, I am an advocate, not just because I'm a therapist, but just because it's so vital and necessary and helpful. I'm totally an advocate for therapy. So I think everyone should seek out a therapist. therapist, you can, you know, if you have insurance, you can go on your insurance panel. Therapy for Black Girls is a great website. Certain therapists have different sliding scales. So just, you know, seek out a therapist in your area.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Janae, for being here. You have been phenomenal, and I really, really appreciate